the ghost of Hyundai Santa Fe's past. Why are the designers at Hyundai forsaking my lineage with this gorgeous new-looking Santa Fe? I used to be so ugly. I'm going to possess this new one and back it up automatically. Ooh, new technology is scary.
The heck was that? Anyways, my name's Chris, and this is Sparkplug TV. What is up, Sparks? Welcome back to Sparkplug TV, where I do car reviews for literally everybody, not just car enthusiasts. Y'all do me a huge solid and like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's literally free. Who doesn't love free stuff? Can y'all believe I'm taking time out of my day to create free content for you?
As if.
I'm just kidding, because today's video is actually sponsored by Johnson Hyundai of Wake Forest. Johnson Hyundai sells more Hyundais in North Carolina and South Carolina than any other dealership, and with 2 locations in Cary and Wake Forest, if they don't have what you're looking for, they can get it. I'll just come right out and say it, y'all. The first couple generations of the Santa Fe were U-G-L-Y, you ain't got no alibi, they were ugly. By the 3rd generation, they started to clean it up a bit. Now, in the 4th generation, we are truly giving Xenon Girl of the 21st century.
Cetus a penis.
Oh Christ, I'm showing my age. The 2022 Hyundai Santa Fe is Hyundai's mid-size crossover SUV smack dab in the middle of the 3-road Palisade and the tiny Tucson. The SE starts at $28,000 and comes in various powertrains, including a brand new plug-in hybrid, a regular hybrid, and the standard 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, minus the turbo. The most expensive Santa Fe is the limited plug-in hybrid, coming in at $47,000. Another new trim for the Santa Fe is the slightly more rugged-looking XRT. Today's model is the second to top-end limited model with a sticker price of $42,000. This 2022 Hyundai Santa Fe Limited has a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with the optional all-wheel drive powertrain and the dual-clutch 8-speed automatic transmission, outputting 281 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. For 0 to 60, we're looking at 6.6 seconds, and it's got a top speed of 145 miles an hour. Whereas the old Santa Fe's weren't doing much in the front end design, like at all, and even kind of looked like a minivan.
You're a little bitch.
Oh my god, okay, I'm so sorry, jeez. Anyways, this new Santa Fe is literally doing everything that it can to get your attention and make itself known as an aggressive SUV. I mean, not like the Tucson though, because that thing is literally a Hyundai billboard rolling down the road, but I can actually get behind the front end design of the Santa Fe. The Limited comes with a chrome accented front grille standard, and unlike the Elantra's chrome grille, I actually think that the chrome looks better on the Santa Fe than the all-black front grille. You can also see that it does tip its proverbial hat to Santa Fe's of the past, with the way that the daytime running lights are positioned towards the top, as well as where the full LED headlights are. Again, I think Hyundai's really honed in on the front end's potential, and I think they finally got it right, and it looks super sharp. Especially with the cross-hatching accented by the chrome right here, and then all of the sensors are hidden very well, and it's very seamless looking. Okay, I don't have any help today, so let's cut to the side. Y'all better not at me about this lighting. I know it's bad in here, but I really don't have any other choice right now because it's raining. At any rate, the Limited does come with standard 19-inch alloy rims, standard roof rails, and power folding mirrors. But I think the rims look a lot like the front end. They're busy, but not overtly so. The door handles are giving chunky Palisade vibes. Like any other car these days, it comes standard with keyless entry. The side profile in general sits pretty tall and is really clean and well designed all the way from the A to the C pillar. The only negative thing that I would have to say is that I'm surprised to see that the side fenders are plastic. It doesn't necessarily take away from the luxury package that it's trying to convey, especially because of the blue color, but the painted fender pieces only are available on the calligraphy models. In terms of gas mileage, I'm pretty surprised that it only gets 22 in the city and 28 on the highway. I was expecting a little bit more in the city, but I guess she is a mid-sized gal after all. So, now that we're done with the side profile, let's get to the booty. I am really embarrassing myself. So where the designers had a field day with the front end, when it came to the back end, they probably just looked at each other and shrugged. Yeah, whatever, just trade the silver trim piece out for a light bar. It'll look more trendy. I mean, why drastically change the front end just to keep the back end basically the same since 2019? Were they tired? Were they overworked? Were they over it? I will say that according to the DOT law, if your vehicle's tailgate is open, there has to be a stationary spot for the turn signal and a brake light, but I just think they could have designed it just a little bit differently. I will say it's a lot like the front end where there's a lot going on, but unlike the front end, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. One good thing I will say about the back end is that the back windshield is pretty large and easy to see out of, and I actually do like the LED taillights when they're on. See, I'm not totally a hateful. It's not that I hate the back end. I actually do think that it looks as handsome as the front end. I just wish that they overhauled it just like the front. If you do have the key in your pocket and you do have this option turned on, it will automatically lift the automatic liftgate for you. And once the trunk is open, you've got about 36.4 cubic feet of storage. And then with the second row seats down, it's about 76 cubic feet, give or take. And then the Limited does come with automatic folding second row seats, as well as these bins in the back that are pretty spacious. I mean, you can put a lot of stuff in here for sure. So now that I'm done airing out my grievances on the back, let's go inside and see if I have anything more positive to say about it. You know what? Comment down below and let me know if you have as such a strong opinion about the back end as I do. I can't be the only one that feels that way. I can't. All right, let's talk about the interior. I think that this is just like a miniature Palisade. It is like, it literally, I mean, from the center console and the steering wheel and everything else about it, I mean, like, literally the center console is like right out of the Palisade, from the gear selector to the different drive mode selectors and all of the buttons that are surrounding it. You do get an optional 10.25-inch infotainment screen with the Limited, as well as the 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. The Limited also does come with the Harman Kardon Premium Sound System package. It's super sweet sounding. It's really, really nice, especially with the surround sound added to it. It's really incredible sounding. Lizzo's new song, It's About Damn Time, sounds really damn good in here. You know, I mean, it's typical Hyundai right now, you know? I think the only grievance I have with the interior is the steering wheel, you know? I think the steering wheel doesn't look bad, right? But I mean, it's still kind of like an outdated Hyundai steering wheel at this point. And I mean, Hyundai's newest, you know, they just came out with the new Palisade model, and the new Palisade model does have that steering wheel that I was talking about. Once again, my influence is just, it speaks volumes across the world and to designers. Wow, if I was really that full of myself. It's interesting. It takes cues from the Elantra, it takes cues from the Palisade. The infotainment system it's decent. It falls along the same lines as the Ioniq and the Palisade and the Elantra. It does also have a wireless charging pad where you can just kind of like drop your phone in the slot. I think that's a pretty cool option. Storage is pretty big in here. I mean, there's storage pockets in each side. There's a little storage bin down here. The Santa Fe also does come with the remote start parking. As you saw earlier at the beginning of the video, if you're in a tight spot, you can remote start the vehicle and then press a button on the key fob, and then it automatically can back up the vehicle for you, and then it can automatically pull forward for you as well. And what's even cooler about it is the fact that it will straighten out the vehicle as much as it needs to. You can see in this clip that like it actually does straighten it out to make sure that it's like fully straight. I mean, the only other grievance that I have is just how many buttons there are in here. I mean, like the Palisade, there were a lot of buttons, but it was a bigger center console so that it kind of didn't make it seem as there were as many buttons. I know that in the other trim levels, like the SE and the SEL, like if you don't have the downhill assist and the parking sensors and stuff, like all of these buttons would be blank. So, I mean, not only would you be having like a ton of buttons, but all of the buttons would be blank. So it's like, I don't know. I don't personally like that. I think the one nice thing about Hyundai is that the majority of their cars come standard now with the adaptive cruise control, the lane following assist, the lane keep assist, the steering pilot, all of that stuff. You know, but what's different in the Limited trim is the fact that it's got the blind spot camera. Now it's got the blind spot camera on the left and the right hand side, which is also integrated with the 360-degree camera. The 360-degree camera is really clear. It's really interesting too because you can zoom in and out with it. I've never seen a 360-degree camera that can zoom in and out. I think that's pretty nifty. And yeah, I mean, you know, not to be redundant, but I think it's a nice cabin. It's a really nice cabin. The materials are nice enough for the price point, and you know, I don't expect anything more or less from Hyundai. I think that, again, you know, whereas the Santa Fe's of the past and the Hyundais of the past were real garbage cans on four wheels, I mean, like these, they've really upped their game, and I really like them. Alright gang, we are trying new angles today, as you can see. I am going for a little less of a distracting angle, and hopefully on the days that I record and it's sunny out, it won't be as blinding. Anyways, we are taking out Miss Hyundai Santa Fe for a little cruise, a little cruisy poo. The all-wheel drive is great. I really enjoy the all-wheel drive. I've read some articles online that said that even with the turbocharged engine, that it's like a little slow, but I don't really think it's that slow. I think it's actually pretty peppy. I mean, it's not... Hang on. From having the CVT transmission in the Elantra to having like a dual clutch 8-speed automatic with, ooh. Okay. She is, she's not very nimble. It's really heavy. It's a crossover SUV. It's not supposed to be a sports car or anything of that nature, but that was a lot of understeer. Did not really feel safe in that spot. The suspension is good because it's good for highway driving. I think it's really plush for highway driving, but I think it's too plush for dynamic driving. I think that it kind of lags a little bit in that area. You know, it's funny though, because the transmission is a dual clutch 8-speed automatic transmission, and it does have paddle shifters. And the transmission itself is extremely quick. It's lightning fast. Okay, now I'm going to test out the autopilot steering, all that good stuff, the lane follow assist, lane keep assist. So now we've got the lane keep assist on, we've got the automatic steering on, and we've got the adaptive cruise on, as well as the windshield wipers are going a bit, or they should be anyway, because it's kind of raining. You know, I've tested how many of these now, four Hyundais that have the exact same systems, and I think it's always dead on with the steering part, but I think where it lags behind is the stopping portion. I think it panic brakes a lot, and then especially if you're coming up on a light, it does not see the car coming. And you have to, I mean, I've learned the hard way in my own Elantra that like you have got to stop or it will not stop for you. And it will, my GoPro thought I was saying, GoPro, turn off. Anyways, so like I said, I've learned the hard way when it comes to thinking that coming up on a light that it's going to stop because it's going to see a car in front of you, but it really doesn't. I mean, it really only sees the car when you're on the road itself. Alright gang, final thoughts. And wow, look at that. I've got the Hyundai logo right in the background. Let's just dive right into the pros and cons. So the pros would definitely be the front exterior styling. I absolutely love it. I think that it is the best Santa Fe that has ever looked. Another con would be the technology, especially for the price. I think that all of the technology that you get, including the blind spot monitoring cameras, the automatic windshield wipers, the heated and cooled seats, the automatic climate control system, the 10-inch touchscreen, I mean, it's really great for the price. I personally think that Hyundai leads the pack in terms of standard technology. Another pro would be the transmission. Love the transmission. I'm very surprised. I was really underwhelmed with the CVT transmission, and you know, on the bulkier Palisade, the transmission was okay, but the dual clutch 8-speed on this is lightning fast. It's really responsive, and it's really great, especially with the paddle shifters. Another pro, I think, is the interior styling. I like the interior styling a lot. It kind of bridges a gap between luxury pricing and standard styling. Another pro, I think, is going to be the suspension for everyday driving. I think that the suspension is super buttery. It's great for highway driving and everyday driving. And that leads me to the cons. Now, the cons is the handling. So this is not meant for speed racing. This is meant for, like I said previously, highway driving. That was made evident. I wish that it was tuned just a little bit better just for like sportier driving, because I really felt like I was gonna lose my life today. That was scary. Another con would be the rear end. I wish that they would have overhauled it the same that they did the front end. You know, again, I don't hate it, but it's just, they could have done something better with it. Again, it's not terrible looking, but it could be just a little bit better. Another con, I don't know, I'm impartial. I'm gonna put it in the cons list, but I'm impartial to the center console. Whereas like the Palisade, there was a lot of buttons, but it was big enough that it didn't look that like it was that much in terms of buttons. But for this, there's a lot of buttons going on in one smaller space. You know, they could have maybe had some of these features maybe on buttons over here, or maybe some more buttons on the steering wheel, or maybe allocated some buttons down here or something, or maybe, you know, I don't know. But I just think that like there are so many buttons right here. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of buttons. So I'm gonna put it in the cons list, but I think overall I don't think it's that bad. I think one final con, and this is so nitpicky and it's so kind of like stupid at this point, but the steering wheel, I just wish that they would drop those same steering wheel that they've been putting in all the other new ones. You know, this is an older model steering wheel, and you know, with the interior being so updated and so upgraded, why not just also upgrade the steering wheel, you know? I guess I'm a slut for steering wheels. I mean, I loved the Alfa Romeo one, and I'm very critical of these, so. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. Thank you guys so much for watching my YouTube channel. I very much appreciate it. I am, God, I'm like, as of right now, I'm like 70 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much. It is a slow slog getting up there on YouTube. But I'm gonna keep doing this until I feel like I'm at where I want to be, you know? So thanks again for Johnson for continually supporting me. Thanks for everybody out there for continually supporting me. And, I'm gonna go take my hateful self inside and turn this car back in. Bye now.
Hey Sparks, thanks for watching today's video. If you want more Sparkplug TV content, click right here. Right here. You got two options. Choose one, or both.